Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video, and this is a paid request for Chaz. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, tier lists, rankings, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal, do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And this is for Tales from the Crypt episode Cutting Clards, yeah. Cutting Clark Griswold. He got cut the fuck up because people were tired of Chevy Chase's bullshit. If you don't watch it, this is what happened. But cutting cards, funny enough, I did reviews for Aaron on other Tales from the Crypt episodes, and I mentioned, oh, I saw this one with Lance Henriksen with the card thing, and it was this one. So, ironically enough, I looked and go, oh shit, Chaz sent me a request for this, so I have seen this before, but it is a good one. Now, it's directed by Walter Hill, which I thought that was cool because, I mean, it's the guy who did 48 Hours, it's the guy who did Southern Comfort, which I really enjoy, Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis I enjoy, and you'd have Kevin Teed, who was in the Patrick Swayze film Roadhouse. I believe he was in this Dolph Lundgren film called Men of War, which I really enjoy. And you have Lance Henriksen. I love Lance Henriksen. He was in, Aliens, Pumpkinhead, Hard Target, Stone Cold, Near Dark. So many good films. And they play two gamblers. Lance is Reno and Kevin Teed is Sam. Lance is in town, sees Kevin Teed's character. Apparently Lance was somewhere and lost some money. He said no he didn't, but you get the idea maybe he did. And they've had this rivalry for a while. At one point Lance won $10,000 from him, but then Kevin Teed at one point won Lance's Cadillac from him. So they're very much a rivalry between the two. Who knows for how many years. So they play a game even though Lance has no money, but Kevin goes, listen, how about this? We'll play. If you lose, you leave. You never come back in this town. And lo and behold, they both do dice, and they both roll a 6. And this definitely has a fun, darkly humorous vibe to it. It's rather funny. Both these actors do a good job. They're intense. The way they're just going back and forth with each other, practically yelling over each other. Like, you really buy that they have had this rivalry for years and years. It just, this butting of heads verbatim between the two is definitely the star of this episode. And Lance is like more intense. You want to fuck with me? Okay, you want a duel? Russian roulette. And you tell that Kevin Teed is unsure about this, but then they go with a 44 gun Russian roulette. And again, the intensity between these two guys is just coming out of the screen and just really, you get sucked into, at least for me, I get sucked into the story. And they're going back and forth and kind of verbally sparring against the other, and then they do it. Okay. You tell him I wasn't scared. I'd never back down. And with the humor, it works rather well, because you have this intensity rising, and then there'll be like a car with a man and a woman saying, get the hell out of the way. And then they're both yelling at the couple in the car. Park to yourself, asshole. You're my friend. Get the hell out of here. Which is where he says, my friend, even though they fucking obviously despise each other. But like maybe in a weird way they kind of see a bit of themselves in each other because they're both such over-the-top gamblers that you're willing to do a Russian roulette for over what at the end of the day? Pride. You just have to win, at least against this other individual. And then lo and behold, Lance shoots and it's a dud. It's like, you fucking cheated. No, I didn't. Yeah, you put a fucking dud here on purpose just to freak me out. And then at the end, as we give even more of the ghoulish Tate, thus Tales from the Crypt, is chop poker. You play poker. If you lose, you get a finger chopped off. Each time you lose, you get a finger chopped off. So, spoilers. Heavy spoilers. Lance wins the first 2 rounds, so Kevin T gets his 2 fingers chopped off. But then Lance loses. He's like, wait. Hey, I'll give you back one of your fingers. Hey, it don't hurt too much. And then you find out later on, they both went so far, they have no arms left. Which makes me wonder how that even happened, because you would think, okay, at one point nobody had arms left. They couldn't even hold the fucking cards. So how to even play to make sure the other guy loses arm? What did he do? Pick it up with his teeth or his feet? If that's the case, I'm surprised their legs weren't cut off too. Unless they were and I didn't notice. But that's the idea. They have no arms. And they're in, I guess, some hospital. Well, they are in some hospital, although it looks like institution as well. And they're playing checkers, and they still have this rivalry. And they're butting heads against each other. So, I mean, technically they're alive, and technically, I don't know for how long, I don't know what more they could do. They have no fucking arms. So, I guess they got their feet, their dicks, I don't know. Slap you in the face with my dick. When you sleep, I'm going to put it in your mouth. Choke on it. Choke on it. I mean, I don't know. But that's the thing. It's 2 good actors going back and forth with each other. And just more and more like that reaction as the game goes on. And I think that's why I know my friend OCP might have talked about this for years. That's how I first saw it, was him talking about it. My friend Mike, OCP Communications, he's a big Tales from the Crypt fan. So he would bring it up. A few other people bring it up. I love Lance Henriksen. So I watched it one night. It's only 20-some minutes long. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. Went at a good pace. And it has this funny vibe to it, despite how crazy it gets. And I think it's considered definitely one of the more memorable episodes because of the 2 actors, because of how they verbally sparred with each other, and because of kind of the funny, dark tone it takes, that it definitely leaves an impression. So, like I said, it goes at a good pace. I was never bored. I think, I don't know why, my favorite part is when Lance Henriksen thinks it's a dud, and just how he gets pissed at the other guy. You were faking, you motherfucker. You just see nice, it was nice to see Lance. Just a lot of times he gets put into roles that, has him a little bit more lower T. Bishop and Aliens, Millennium, the TV show, even to an extent Near Dark, and he's playing a villain, but he's not wild. I would say Stone Cold is probably the closest this character is in terms of his energy, in terms of just how manic he is, which I love. I mean, but again, huge fan of the guy. So good show. Which he was in another Tales from the Crypt episode I reviewed, Yellow, with Kirk Douglas and his son Eric Douglas. So I don't know if he did other Tales from the Crypt episodes, but he was at least in those 2. But yeah, with that said, a good one. Good. If you want to see that type of ghoulish tale, if you like Lance Henriksen, it's definitely worth the watch. So thanks for watching. Thanks once again, Chaz, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.